Hi, everybody. Welcome.
Hello.
Hey, it's episode 18. Flip and Streeter Make It Weird. And what makes you weird today, Flip, besides your haircut?
I know. Well, you went for the dramatic last week with your missing beard.
That's true.
So I'm
That's
like,
right.
You know what? I'm gonna dramatize it a little bit too and cut 6 inches off.
Yeah, it's noticeable. I mean, it's definitely noticeable.
A little bit. I know.
What I mean by that is it looks great.
Yeah, it's definitely noticeable.
Definitely noticeable. But well, if someone came up to you in public and was just like, "Oh, it's so great to see you," it's like your hair is noticeable.
Yeah.
Would you?
Not a compliment.
Not a compliment? No.
Not
Okay.
a compliment.
All right.
No.
Yeah. Your hair's noticeable for sure. That's great. I don't look quite as.
I know. I see a little scruff
I got a
now.
little. I got like last week when we were recording. It was fresh. I had just shaved everything off, so there was like not even a stubble. It was just smooth. And yeah. So anyway, so now I got a little stubble. So I feel like I look a little more normal now.
Yeah, I'm sure Brittany loves that.
Yeah. Oh gosh, she does not like that actually at all.
Nope.
But I like it.
That's not what matters.
Yeah, you're right. That's not what matters. It's episode 18. Welcome to the show.
So weird. Unbelievably weird. Weird as hell. How I describe it.
Speaking of haircuts and stuff like that, and kind of going into a little bit crazy shit your kids did that we talk about in the show. At what age and when do the kids try and cut their own hair? I mean, it seems like that always happens, especially with girls. Did that happen with your girls at all? Has it happened yet? Or
they didn't cut it. I had to cut like a chunk out of Ava's hair a couple of years ago because it was just so matted.
Yeah.
Like a rat's nest that I had to cut out, but it was kind of like underneath the, by her neck in the back. So it wasn't as noticeable as it would have been. But
Luna's hair is very difficult to wrestle with.
She has very fine hair.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. So just one half day of not combing, and it's just looks like we hadn't combed it in years.
Yeah, it's
like,
the
what
same with
happened?
Ava's too, because Ava's is so thick.
Yeah,
and so if you don't keep it brushed, it gets matted real easily.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Remind me of another story I have when it comes to hair that we'll talk about in crazy shit your kids did. I think I told it on the show this week on the radio show. About the bun. Did I share the story with you about the bun?
Yeah.
We'll talk about that a little bit later in the show. First, we got to start with Tell Me Something Good. We got to get to the good stuff. What is today's good news, Flip? I need to hear something good.
We are going to talk about the GOAT doing good. Michael Jordan, the best basketball player in history. I don't care about your other arguments. He is celebrating the opening of his 4th Michael Jordan Family Medical Clinic in North Carolina, and it's located in his hometown of Wilmington, 7,300 square feet. This clinic, it officially opened on February 19th. It's offering vital primary care services, particularly for the underinsured and uninsured patients in the area. So this one is the second one in his hometown, and it follows the success of the first one, which opened less than a year ago. And his partnership with Novant Health, which is a big, healthcare corporation, already proven impactful. Nearly 1,800 patients served in the first 9 months of the original one. So this latest edition is thanks to his $10 million donation. And it's not only going to provide primary care services, but also a community health worker that'll connect patients with vital local resources that they may not know about otherwise. But just in the last few years, his philanthropic efforts have focused on breaking down those barriers to healthcare access, and it's really, really made a difference in his home state of North Carolina.
I love that. I love when people like that are using their platform for good and getting things like that going. And gosh, the healthcare. I feel like I'm extremely blessed, when it comes to having decent access to healthcare. I still don't I feel like I understand it and have access to it better than most in probably our country, definitely the world. But I still don't understand. It's so confusing.
Still. Yeah.
It's so confusing.
Yeah. Out of pocket, the deductibles,
oh my gosh.
things.
And it's all, and everything's a fight. Like, we pay good money for our insurance.
I know. It's like, wait a minute.
And
you're supposed to cover this. I pay you to cover this. Why are you not covering this?
Everything's still a fight. It doesn't matter. Like, there's very few things that they just pay for and just,
They're like, we'll cut a check.
Yeah, exactly. There's like almost none of that. Everything is like, here's why we're not going to cut a check. And we're like, wait, what?
No.
Hold on. And
I feel like
it's crazy. And it really, like if you're, yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
All insurance companies, I feel like, like car insurance, house insurance, like all the things. It's like, wait a minute, I'm paying you to cover me in case if something happens. Yeah. And they're like, oh, well, it's not going to do that.
It can be very frustrating. It can be very frustrating. I will say, though, there are some really good insurance companies, and some. So when you say all, maybe they do just based on, I don't know how it all works. But we've had some. I was going to say we've had some situations where it's like, wait a second, that was almost too easy. Maybe it's because we've been primed that everything's a fight. And so when they actually do just like cut a check, we're like, no, something's wrong. Something's wrong. Yeah. Something's not right about this.
Hold on.
Wait a second.
We're gonna have to pay this back.
What's exactly. Happening? Like, what's going on here? Why was that easy? But that's why I was gonna say, like, Michael Jordan doing that and like having the caseworker there that can help them with that and figure it all out is so important. I wish I had that. I'd like to have just someone to help us sit down and say, hey, this is how it's all going to actually work. And,
right.
That's a really amazing thing that he's doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
That.
All right. Let's jump right from amazing people doing amazing things into these are amazing people in their own way. Amazingly, I'm not going to.
Stupid.
Okay. Yeah. I wasn't going to label them. I wasn't going to label them, but you grew up in Florida. Go ahead. Right? Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. So speaking of Florida, I'm going to go to one of my fellow Floridians who the other day, this 24-year-old Florida man crashed his car into a pole outside a 7-Eleven.
Oh, no.
Only to be found pantsless and too drunk to remember the accident.
You can't say pantsless right when I took a sip of coffee. Wait, what?
Pantsless. Police discovered him in his car with some empty beer cans around. He failed some sobriety tests, blowing a .256 and .260, which is about 3 times the legal limit. So without a valid license, he was charged with DUI, driving without a license, and later released on bond. So he is back into the wild in Florida as we speak.
Did they give him his pants back? No, he didn't have pants. He didn't have pants.
He didn't have them. No.
Did they give him any temporary pants at least?
It says that his pants were wet in the seat, so I'm wondering if he was like drinking the beers and driving, and then he spilled the beer on his pants.
That's what you think.
So logically,
or beer makes you gotta go.
Well, that's true too.
Yeah,
I wasn't.
You think he did that?
Maybe
when he saw the blue lights start flashing.
But
think he wet himself?
That's possible too.
It's possible. I don't know. I'm just all these theories. I'm not saying that was exactly what happened, but
right.
Put it out there as a theory. It's a possibility. All right, this woman, I'm not entirely sure. Speaking of going to the bathroom and being pantsless and all those things.
Okay.
Just check. When you think of a Florida story, right? You're like, okay, pantsless, check. And you're like, okay, going to the bathroom on something, check. Okay.
Yep.
Maybe a little bit older sometimes. Now the 24-year-old wasn't, but check. All right. Anyway, this person, I'm not 100% positive this person is a Florida native, but they started in Florida. They were on a flight from Orlando, headed to Philadelphia.
All right.
And she started consuming some alcoholic drinks on the plane, enjoying herself on the plane. She went from enjoying herself to erratic when she started drinking too much and did have to go pee. She had to go to the bathroom.
Okay.
Well, they were about to land, and so they said, no, you cannot use the restroom right now. We are about to land. That's not safe. As we saw in Toronto, luckily no one killed in that incident, but you saw that flight that rolled over upon landing, right?
Yeah.
I was going to say, you looked like blank face. Like, how did you not hear about this?
No, I heard about it.
Okay.
I thought you were going to tie it into person was going to the bathroom and that's why it flipped over.
No, that's not why it flipped over. No, this is a different flight. But that's why they don't let you get up. It's so important. That's why they don't get you get up while it's landing, because things like that do happen occasionally.
Sure.
Anyway, so they're like, no, you cannot get up and go to the bathroom, okay? So she was instructed to remain seated, so she got even madder. She got angry. What do they say?
that.
Hornet? What is what's the saying? They're like, you're mad as a pissed off hornet. I don't know, something like that. Anyway, she began yelling. She was cursing. She's aggressively pushing past other passengers. She got out of her seat anyway. And throughout the landing, she was yelling and just belligerent. And as soon as it kind of came to a slowly stop, started to taxi to the gate, she dropped her pants in the aisle.
No.
Exposing herself and started pretending to urinate in the middle of the aisle. Flight attendants immediately got up from their seats and attempted to force her to take her back to her seats
back on.
and get her pants back on. While this was happening, the passenger was threatening to kill other passengers.
Oh, my God.
Authorities say she used her body to shove a flight attendant aside and tried to open an emergency door, or suggested that she would try and open the emergency door before she was then subdued. And all of this, of course, caught on video. She's been charged with interference with flight crew members, simple assault, and indecent exposure.
And indecent, yeah.
Yeah, and I think the punishment is just you got to go back to Florida. You can't stay in Philadelphia.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Philadelphia is like the Florida of the North, though.
That's kind of true. That's kind of true.
They might take her.
They might be okay with it. They're like, all right, just put your pants on and you'll be fine.
Right.
Stay here.
Like, you saw what happened after they won the Super Bowl. It's like...
That's true. There's a lot of madness.
It's like they lost.
There.
I'm like, do they realize they won?
I know.
I
don't understand that in cities.
The city?
I don't understand that in cities. Like, so I remember being downtown St. Louis after the Cardinals won the World Series, and everybody ran out in the streets and we're celebrating. But there were nothing was lit on fire. This is St. Louis, and I'm not. There's a lot of things wrong with St. Louis, right? There's a lot of things wrong with St. Louis.
That was earlier in the day, I'm sure.
No, it was late at night. It was in the evening. It was night. But so I remember I was really excited. So I ran out. I was in a bar watching the World Series because I couldn't afford tickets to it, but like right next to the stadium. And I remember when they won, everybody ran out the doors and just were celebrating in the street and high-fiving each other and all this stuff. I think one or two people climbed up a pole for some reason. I don't know why. But there were no cars set on fire. Nothing got flipped over. There was just no one like destroyed anything, because I don't know why you would.
Right. I know.
I understand
it's like,
that.
you do know that you won.
It's bizarre. Anyway, so anyway, I wanted to throw it out there that at least my part of that type of celebration, at least St. Louis, was very nice. And so that's why Philadelphia earns its spot as a Florida of the North, right?
It does.
It's earned its spot in there. So there you go. So that's my story today. But man, getting a little serious. Be a little serious for a second, because that one was nuts to these poor flight attendants. Be so kind to your flight attendants. I mean, they number one, they've been through a lot recently. Not including your belligerent selves. Headed to wherever on vacation. They're not. You know what I mean? Like they're not. They're not going on a trip. They're not going. Yeah, they're working. They have to deal with you the whole time. Yes, a lot of people are extra scared right now with flying, and so they're helping you too. They may be even a little scared, but they can't show it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So it's like there's a lot. So just be extra kind. If you're flying, man, come on, cut them some slack and be a little extra kind to them right now. All right, golly. Sorry, I got worked up over a lot of different. These
know.
last couple of Florida stories just got me worked up on a lot of different ways.
I was gonna say I almost not agree with what she did, but it's like, when I gotta go, I gotta go. Like, you can't tell me I gotta sit down for another
but they
10
can.
or 15 minutes.
They can, and you do have to sit down for another 10 or 15 minutes. So what do you mean you can't tell me? That's the one place they can tell you.
Yeah.
And you do have to do that. Like, I mean,
No.
if they did not do that, you know what I mean? Like, that would, in something like that, Toronto. That's why everybody survived that Toronto plane flip over incident. Because they were all buckled. I mean, there's, I think there's a couple injuries, and I don't know exactly the circumstances, but most people were buckled into their seats, I believe, and so that's what saves a lot of lives. Can you imagine flipping over and everybody's not in their seats?
Yeah. Yeah.
And buckled
especially in the bathroom.
Yeah. Bathroom, actually. I mean, that would be gross. But it's really tiny, so you might actually kind of be okay in there if you happen to be in the bathroom at the time. But if you're walking to or from or something like that, I mean, not only do you put yourself at risk, but you could fly into somebody else,
That's true.
So anyway,
just another reason I like to drive.
Here's what you
so I can stop anytime I want.
There you go.
Side of the road, wherever.
Wherever you need to there. Exactly. I mean, you're a Florida person. You can drop your pants on the side of the freeway. What the hell? No, but there's you can wear a diaper.
Yeah, you could.
If you're really not that confident, wear a diaper. Put that baby on, and
that's not a bad idea.
I mean, I've heard a lot of rock stars do that.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Bunny, Jelly Roll's wife, does that. Yeah. Sometimes.
Yeah, a lot of rock stars, they do that when they're either performing because they don't want to interrupt. No, I'm serious.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I wonder if athletes, and because I've thought about that before, just how my mind works watching like a football game or a baseball game or something. I'm like, what if you have to pee in the middle of the, because when they call timeouts, it's like a 30-second timeout or something that.
They're so sweaty. I think the pee, you would never know it. Well, I was going to say, if they really had, number one, they probably aren't going to have to be because they're so sweaty. You're losing all the fluid that way. But number two, no pun intended, but that would be that I don't know what you do if that's the one thing you have to go. I don't know. You can't.
Right? Why is he running down the field like that?
Help me, coach!
He's shuffling.
Offsides. Anyway, false start, offside, every penalty in the book. No, but I was going to say, if they did have to go number one, I think they could just do it, and no one would ever be the wiser because they're so sweaty anyway. Like, everything's all covered and drenched usually. Yeah. And so, like, you just pee and, like, I don't know. I might mock, like, if it were football, then I'd tell the person like that's across from you, when they're lined up on the line or whatever, I'd be like, you better not tackle me. I just pissed myself. And then you don't want to touch this. And then that would definitely get in their head. So.
Yeah, that's okay. Never thought that deeply into it, but that's be watching extra close this coming football season.
What were we talking about? How did we get?
I don't even know. How did we get here?
How did we get here? That's what everybody listening is wondering right now. How did we accidentally click on this show?
I have so many days when I'm like, I'll start thinking about something, and then I'll end up over here at from A to Z or something, and I'm like, wait a minute, what? How did I even get here? Where was I? And I was like, oh, something. I started out thinking something else totally different, and then it just snowballed into, something else.
10 minutes ago, we were dropping our pants at a convenience store with a 24-year-old dude who crashed his car, and then all of a sudden we're talking about football players holding their pee during a game. I don't know. Doesn't matter how we got here.
I would be interested to
get one on the
hear
show.
From,
see if we can try and get somebody on the show that will talk to us about
Jared played football for a little bit. I've never asked him about that.
Yeah, ask him.
I'll ask him and report back.
I mean, like, I mean, that goes with all. I mean, what about the sports? Obviously, like NASCAR drivers, I think, don't they have
They
have that thing.
like a
Yeah.
little system in there. So yeah.
But there are other sports that go on for long, like even tennis matches and things. can go on for-
Golfers. What about golfers?
Yeah. And there's some of those things that can go on for a long, long
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
So that's a great question. If anybody has some insight onto that
Yeah.
and cares to share, let us know. Drop a comment. You can be anonymous. You can just shoot us a message anonymously. That's
could
fine
be.
too. Yeah. I mean, we're not going to let you be, but you could try.
Not as fun,
Yeah,
but
no, exactly. Let us know. Some what the what stories. We talked about this on the show this week, and it's been talked about a lot. I've seen a lot of other people getting talking about this. Is a couple of weeks ago, I think you were the one with this what the what story about this chance this asteroid would strike Earth.
Oh yeah.
Within the next 10 years. And it was like a 1.8% chance, I think it was.
Yeah. Teeny tiny.
Yeah, and then they're like, and then 2 weeks have gone by, and the chance is now. NASA says the chance is doubled now. Now it's like somewhere around 3%, something like that. That this particular asteroid will strike Earth sometime in the next 10 years. Now they say it's about 130 to 330 feet long, which if
That's a
I know that's a pretty. Yeah. I weigh anywhere from 100 to 350 pounds. I would be ideal to get a little closer.
yeah.
I'd love to get closer to that number to see exactly what we're talking about. 130-foot long asteroid. I mean, it's not going to, that one, it wouldn't be good if it hits us.
Yeah. Wouldn't be great.
But that's 200 extra feet that we wouldn't have to deal with if it's 130 feet, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Instead of the 330 feet. I mean, I would like them to get a little bit, and I think hopefully they're working on that.
Yeah.
I hope that, hope they haven't been let go from the, I would like them to keep working, please.
Yeah.
So anyway, I would like to have some better information about that. But they say that if it were to strike Earth, that something like that would be it could, I love the way it was worded in the NASA statement. It was like, it could cause localized damage. And so
Damage.
localized damage. Like, and then I was like, what does localized damage mean? It's like, it could take out an entire city. Yeah. That's not localized. That to me, I mean, I guess it is in this, in the sense of the world, but it's like, if that's, that's crazy.
Right.
They said that a similar size asteroid back in like the early 1900s passed over somewhere, I think it was in Siberia or something like that. And it like leveled a 1,200 square mile area.
Jeez.
Like that's not,
That's not
to
little.
me, that's not local. Local is
No.
walking up to the convenience store at the end of the street.
Right. Yeah. Just taking out the convenience store. Or
Yeah,
something.
exactly. This thing. So anyway, so you might be thinking, okay, 3%.
Which city are we going to nominate?
Well, no, you don't. I don't think you get to choose. Everybody, quick, move this city over here. It's headed
Here,
this way.
Turn.
Yeah. Everybody, run to this side of the earth, real quick, real fast. Let's see if we can slow this thing down. No, but I mean, so you might be thinking, okay, there's a 97% chance right now that it doesn't hit Earth, right?
That it doesn't.
Yeah, but number one, if it's doubling every 2 weeks and we have 10 years before this thing's supposed to hit, we're in big trouble,
I'm
right?
not good at math, but we're screwed.
I think so, exactly. So, I mean, I'm curious to see how this thing plays along. But still, they say it's one of the highest percentages that they said most space objects represent a 0 on the scale of 1 to 10 in threats, and I think this one's at a 4 or something. So
This
it's
is already
so it's already. I mean, that's not a small, it's not a small threat. It's even though it's kind of relatively small chances, it's not a small threat. And anyway, so there are some theories. Some people have been saying, and I don't know that I believe this, but some people are saying they think they know that it's going to hit, and they're just trying to ease up the chances,
us into it.
ease us into it.
Yeah.
I don't know that I believe that because I've seen people that like do this kind of work, and it is not easy to determine for sure. Like this thing's going around the sun, like it's headed away from us at a gazillion and a half billion trillion zillions miles per hour or whatever the hell it is.
Right, yeah.
And it's, in 130 feet, if it's the smaller end, I mean, that's not, try aiming a telescope. I can't, if I have a telescope and someone says, get the moon in the telescope.
Yeah.
I'll be there for hours. Yeah. I'm like trying to get the freaking thing lined up and then I can't get it not blurry.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Like I struggle with that. So I can only imagine truly what it's like to try and look at that, try and catch a moment of it in its whatever I don't even know how. There's like sending noise waves at it or sound waves or something at it to try and reflect, and that's how they get their information.
Right.
And it's like I can't even imagine. And then to determine where it's going and how it's going to come back 10 years later, and will it be on a path to hit us, and where will Earth be at that time? Like it depends on where our rotation is. How the hell do you do all that?
Nope. That's above my pay grade.
So that's why I'm like, I truly don't think they know.
No.
But if it were me, and I guess they don't want to cause panic, but that's why they're like, we should have, if it me, I'd be like, look, this thing may hit us in 2032. We hope not.
Well, I think that's that would cause like mass hysteria if they go ahead
they can't do that.
And say that, because I'm like, you tell me something like that, I'm going to be stressing and worrying about it every single day until then.
You're right.
And get nothing else done.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
think the more logical explanation is, even though I don't believe in them, in aliens,
you think they're
I think
testing
they're
us?
just tired of us. And I think they're trying to hurl these things.
Objects at us?
Yeah.
They're hurling objects at us like kids on a playground.
Yeah.
That are trying to get the other kids to go home.
Right.
Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of my
sticks
playground.
And stones, they're just throwing,
Asteroids,
300-mile asteroids.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's alarming too. I don't like that theory any better than some of the theories people have been throwing out about they think they know that it's going to hit. Anyway, so let's do a hypothetical.
Okay.
I don't like these that much.
I don't either.
Say, it's supposed to hit in 9 years or whatever it is. I don't really know. I don't know. I think they said 2032. Anyway, so whatever
Something like that.
7 years. Say 5 years from now they come and they're like, no, it's 100% chance. It's going to hit somewhere. It's going to take out a city if it hits a city. Mm-hmm. Your chances still are like, 1 in, 100,000 that it hits your city or whatever it is. I don't know what the chances are. But they say it's going to hit something.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Do you change the way you're living your life over that next year or year and a half into between the time where they announce that it's going to hit something and it actually does, or whatever? Do you change the way you're living at all?
I don't think so.
Because I don't think so either. Because I still feel like your chances of going are still higher, and by stepping out in front of a bus accidentally, right?
Right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it should change. So even if they said it right now, I know it would cause a lot of chaos, but that's what it's like. Even if they said it right now, like it's definitely going to hit. I feel like it doesn't change because your chances are still, you're more likely to be gone by then for another reason anyway.
Right. Yeah. Like,
not
and if
to get
it
dark.
if it does change how you're living,
then maybe you should have been living that way all the time anyway, right?
That's your guilty conscience talking.
Exactly. Well, I guess unless you decide to change for the worse.
Right. Yeah, that too. Yeah. It's like, well, I'm about to die anyway, so
might as well.
It's like people that just go blow their money, and it's like, wait a minute. Nope. Nothing happened.
Yeah, exactly.
People at the when they thought the world was going to end years ago.
Yeah, in 2000 and 2000. There's been all these different things. Yeah, there's
now they have no money.
And so many different ones.
Yeah.
But here's the deal: if it does, I don't want to know. I don't want to know the date. I don't
Yeah,
want to know the.
I don't either.
I don't think
That's
I want
what
to know.
I don't get. Like people that
Yeah.
are like, I want to know the day that I'm gonna die because
No.
there's all these little things
Definitely
that
not.
everybody. I'm like, no,
Definitely not.
I don't need to know that because
Yeah.
I will just obsess over that instead of
Correct.
living life.
Exactly. Surprise party,
Mm-hmm.
my death. That's what I. Yeah, that's surprise.
Right.
That's the. Not that I want to. I don't want to get too dark.
And then it
Not that I
turns
want it
into your
anytime
celebration
soon.
of
Anytime.
life. So it's
That's
like
right.
a twofer.
Two parties in one
know?
right there. Yeah. No, I don't. Golly. I think
Just
that's
saved
what-
on catering.
I think that's how. Oh my god. Partying twice in one. There you go. That's great. That's horrible. Even better if I guess if it's the catering that takes you out, because that's the. Okay. Did you have anything for what the what? Because this is getting dark and weird.
So
I mean, weird is normal. That's part of the show. We advertise
Yeah.
that. The dark part.
yeah,
that I
dark
can
part,
handle.
not so often.
Yeah.
No, this one it was kind of dark, but then turned out not to be so bad. There was a woman in Omaha, Nebraska, that got an unexpected cake thief on her back porch. It was an opossum that devoured an entire Costco tuxedo mousse cake.
Oh my God.
And then passed out on her couch
Wait, on her couch?
on the porch. Yeah.
Oh, she has a couch on her porch.
She
That's very Omaha.
discovered this thing panting after the feast and feared, I don't know if possums can eat chocolate. So she called wildlife rescue. Well, it turned out it had lead toxicity, and eating the cake might have saved its life by getting it medical care. So now it's recovering in rehab.
So you think it knew what
It's-
it was doing? Like it was
Possibly,
like
I don't know. I don't know how
Compare-
smart
and
opossums are because they walk out in front of cars all the time. But
Yeah, I think that's
it. Could have been. I don't know, but it's recovering in rehab now, and they've got all these shirts that they've gotten made with an opossum ate an entire Costco cake. It's like this whole thing online. So it's soon going to return
I'm glad
to the
that
wild.
it started panting. It didn't just lay there because then she would have thought it was
Right.
just plain dead, right? That's what they do.
yeah. It's like, how am I supposed to know?
How do you know if it's actually
Yeah.
dead? Those and they are really good at it. We had
They are.
a opossum in the house one time, and
Mm-hmm.
and it was just laying on the tile floor, and I was like, oh my god, the dog must have dragged it in and killed it or something. I didn't know, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh no. And so I went and got a shovel, and I scooped it up, and it didn't move. I didn't move
Really?
any bit. I was like, okay, so I just took it out and I set it across the street in the wooded area, and I was like, all right, there, rest in peace, little buddy. and I was about halfway back to the house when I heard it like scraping up a tree, and I looked back
Yeah.
and it was scraping. I was climbing up a tree. I was like, "Oh my god, it's alive!" Like I was really close to it, and I was sad, and I felt bad. It's like you've tricked me.
I feel like that's how a lot of husbands feel about their wives too.
What? What do you mean?
Sometimes,
You want him to play
like,
dead?
when they're playing like they're asleep or dead or something.
Oh,
They're like,
I
oh,
see. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then they see the notifications after they walk out of the room that they've bought
been
some
liking
stuff on Amazon.
Yeah, or liking
and
stuff on Facebook or something.
sending
Yeah.
reels.
Yeah, exactly. Like, wait a second, you weren't asleep. That's funny. That's true. That's true. We're already at 34 minutes. I do want to share this story of crazy shit your kids did this week. Two things. They both happened at my youngest dance class.
Okay.
So, and they're both the same trip. So I'm bringing her to dance class, and I don't usually take her there. Usually it's Brittany, and so we go, and I'm getting her ready and getting her dressed, and in the lobby there's I'm one of about 10 people with their kids there, and I think
Yeah.
I'm of those 10 people, there's one other dad
Yeah.
there.
Right.
Yeah, but he came prepared because every kid before they go into dance class has to have a bun, their hair in a bun. That's just part of the requirement. It's like a ballet thing, and so so they have to have the bun. And I'm not used to doing that. I can do it. I've done it before, but I'm not. I don't regularly put hair in buns. I don't have that spot has never been a hairy spot for me.
You don't have a lot of practice.
I have no practice. And so I had to do it a couple times before for Luna. But so anyway, I'm trying to make this happen, and Luna can tell I'm struggling. And so she announces to the entire lobby, she says, "We need help. My dad doesn't know how to make a bun." And I'm mortified. I'm like, oh, God, because everybody looks over. All their kids with perfect buns. Right. Even the dad with perfect bun who came in with the kid with the perfect bun. I know mom did that bun. I know mom did that bun.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the dance instructor comes overnight. She's like, "That's okay." She's like, "I'm going to take care of it." I was like, "No, I know how to make the bun." She's like, "I'm going to take care of it." And I was like, "I know how to do it." And she's like, basically move. And she's like, "Do you have your bobby pins?" I'm like, "I didn't know we needed bobby pins." She's like, "You didn't know? You just told me you knew how to make a bun, and you didn't know you needed bobby pins." I was like, she's like, "Do you have bobby pins?" I was like, "Don't have bobby pins." Nope. And she's like, "I will get you my bobby pins." And she went and got bobby pins. She's like, "You need bobby pins to make a bun." I was like, "Well, last time I made the bun, I didn't have bobby pins, and it passed. It passed inspection. She was
it like
in.
a perfect circle, though?
It was a perfect circle.
Or was it just like a messy bun?
No. It was a perfect circle, but she kind of asked, she's like, "How did you do it?" I was like, "I used like 6 hair ties." And she's kind of laughing. She's like, "I mean, I guess that could
so you
work."
do it at the bottom?
Yeah. So I don't know. Like I just like, yeah, exactly. So it was just like a hyper tight ball of whatever because of all the hair ties that I just went over and over and over again to make sure it was locked in place real good. And that's true. That's what I did. And she's like, "I guess that works, but here's the real and easy way." And then also you don't see the hair ties. She's like, 'cause when you go to competition, you're not supposed to see the hair ties either. So like the bobby pins. So I'm like, oh my God. Anyway, that was really embarrassing because she called me out, and I felt like, I know how to do this. I'm not a terrible dad. Like I can do this. I know I can.
Yeah.
Anyway, but
well, that doesn't make you a terrible dad though, because I remember when Ava did dance for a little bit, and I had to do the bun, and I was a tomboy. I've never had my hair in a bun before. And so I've had to learn how to braid on YouTube, had to learn how to do the bun on YouTube.
Yeah.
And everything. And I remember, like it was yesterday, being in there and getting the bun. I had like the little donut, like the little mesh donut that you put in the hair. And so you just kind of like wrap it around that and twist it and do that. But I kid you not, I put no less than 30 bobby pins in there to make sure that I'm like putting them in all different directions, like a pin
make sure
cushion.
It's in there. Exactly.
To make sure that it's doing the hairspray and everything.
See,
it's not easy.
It isn't easy. It isn't. And that's why I was struggling. I was going to make it happen, but it's not easy for me. It's not a routine thing, you know. And then, of course, the ballet teacher's like,
I know.
Done. And I was like, oh, thanks. That feels good. That's just what I needed. At least you could have pretended to struggle also.
I know. I know. It was like all the moms with the gymnastics, because Ava's on the travel gymnastics team, and we'll go and they'll have like all these, you know, the little braids going around their hair, and then it goes back into another little thing, or they have like the little poof things in the middle of them, like they poof the hair out a little bit, so it's like bubble braids or whatever it's called. And I'm over there like, I can do one braid and put some hairspray on it.
I don't understand all the different
Besides that, I don't know.
Yeah. No, they spend so much time on some of those different things. Mm-hmm. But hey, all the power to them. If they can do it, if they're skilled with that, I'm just really lacking at that. I don't think I can do that. But here's what made me feel better after all that. So I'm still in the lobby. Now the kids are in the dance class, and you know, all the parents are just kind of sitting there staring at their phones pretty much and just hanging out.
Yeah.
And one other parent was there with another kid. There's, they were watching one of their other the siblings of someone else who was in the dance class, and they were teaching her how to. The mom was trying to teach her, I guess, animals. And so, like, you would just real quietly, and they're like, "Okay, that's an eagle," and she would be like, "Eagle," and you're like, "Yeah, that's great." And like, "Okay, that's a bear," and then bear. And, so the mom would say the word and point to whatever they were looking at. I couldn't see, it was some booklet of some sort, and pointing at the different animals, like bear. And then she points at ostrich, and she says, "That's an ostrich." And the kid goes, "That's oh shit." And I was like, "Oh, what? What'd you say?" And the mom was like, "No, ostrich." And she goes, "Oh shit."
Yeah.
and the mom goes, "No, no, 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 no,
louder?
no, yeah." And every parent, every parent had that fun. And then as soon as she said, "Oh shit," everybody goes, every parent's looking. I was like, "Yeah, how does it feel now? How does it feel now? How does it feel now?"
Eyes are upon
eyes
you.
are on you now. And like every parent's just kind of doing that. Try not to, like, they still got the phone, but they're like,
don't laugh to encourage.
Yeah,
don't
exactly.
Laugh
Don't
to
encourage. Yeah, they're trying to look away or whatever. But like this mom is so hard trying not to get. So the ostrich, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. And so she just keeps saying, so finally she just moves on. She's like, "Okay, no. And then she just moves on to, giraffe. And let's do that. And so, I don't know. I think she's still out there somewhere saying "aw shit" as for an ostrich. But that made me feel a lot better.
That's
amazing. And really made my week, that portion of it. So, yeah. Wow. Okay. 40 minutes. Do you have anything that's going on with your kids this week that you want to share before we go?
Well, I took your advice the other day, and I cut Jace's hair.
Yes!
Because we were talking about this last week about how you never pay for haircuts. Everybody gets their hair cut in the house. And I'm like, okay, well, if Sean can do it.
That's why we're going to be millionaires by the time I'm 97. Retire. Man, that's right. Because we don't pay to cut our hair.
Yeah. So I had bought the little kit during COVID because I did Jared's hair with it. He let me do it a couple of times and then never again. And so I had the kit and everything, and I go out into the living room. He was watching his iPad, and I'm like, okay, this will be perfect. Like he'll be distracted and everything. And he thought it was kind of funny because when I turn it on, it's like, and it kind of vibrates.
Yeah.
And so he kind of thought it was funny. So I'm like, oh, this will be easy. And I put the 9 guard on it, which I think, isn't that supposed to be like one of the,
it's a long,
like it's not supposed to cut, supposed to cut as much.
I was just going to say, that's long hair.
I pushed that thing through his hair, and I saw the hair hit the floor, and I'm like, oh shit.
No. You took a lot off, huh?
So that was like the first
Did you misread
run.
it? Was it not? Was it a 6 guard? Are you sure you read it right?
No, it was a 9. Like I compared them with the other ones and made sure. I'm like, this is the longest one. And so he just had like the swoop off to the side. He had a lot of hair.
Yeah,
and so I'm like,
that'll
well,
take it off.
I got to keep going because I can't stop now, because he's got one streak through his hair that's
that's why you start at the sides in case. So pro tip, if you're going to do this again, start at the sides. So that way, if for some reason it is too short, you can then just do a kind of a side fade. Because you start at the side or the back, and then you can always fade it and keep the longer stuff up top, which is usually fine. You can make it work at that point. But if you start here and you go here, there's no turning back. There is no hairstyle. There's no hairstyle where the center is short and the sides like that. Not that anybody truly wants.
I know that now. So I've taken all the pro tips and stuff because I would like to do it again because his hair grows really fast.
Yeah.
And it was like, $40 when I took him last time.
I cannot believe you paid that for a 1-year-old's or 2-now-year-old's haircut.
I know.
Unreal.
So if I could keep, getting better, maybe watch some YouTube videos and take your tips and Jared's tips and things. And
Okay.
go from there. But yeah, because that's kind of what I wanted to do. I wanted to do like the little fade look because that's what Jared has. Like it's kind of short, and then it grows and it gets it longer on top.
Do a YouTube video for that for sure. Yeah, I would do. But that's generally so because that's how even Brittany starts my hair. She's like, okay, is this too short or is this okay? And she'll start it with the side. And I'm like, no, that's good. So then she finds the base. And once you find the base, like the shortest level you want, then you can go up from there. And then it's like, then you can,
So then you just change guards as you're going up?
Well, no, the shortest should be the bottom. Yeah, I mean, you definitely, so whatever the shortest is. So if the 9 guard is the shortest, then you don't get to use any guards up here. You have to go to manual. You got to go manual scissors up there. But so the short, but yes, you go shortest and then you change guards and kind of go, the next shortest or the next longest. And then you go even higher. No, everybody listening has no idea what's going on. But on the show, I'm showing you using my head as an example.
He's demonstrating.
I'm demonstrating using my head. Yeah. And then you create a fade. Yes. Anyway.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Yeah. But I would YouTube that for real pro tips because this is just my understanding of Brittany doing it to me. But yeah, that's good. I'm glad that you did that, and I'm glad it's saving you some money. And I expect you to take me to lunch with your savings sometime this week. That's a $40 savings already.
I know.
Just this
already.
week. That's exactly what it costs to take me to lunch right now.
Yep. That kit's already paid for itself.
Yeah, what a coincidence. There were some other things I wanted to talk about today, but I mean, we're already at 45 minutes. We got to go. We got to get out of here. I do want to talk next week, and help me remember this, we talked about this on the show, about unique crime punishments.
Yeah.
And I would love to hear in between now and then if you have any thoughts on what would be, like if someone's doing I'm not talking about murder. I'm talking about, robbery or theft or things that, I guess robbery is not as great either, but like burglary or theft. Something that's lesser crimes, less dangerous crimes. What the punishment should be. Is it really sending to jail or could there be some other things? Because there's a judge in Michigan that is sentencing some people to a very unique punishment. And I thought it was pretty cool. And I think that there could be more things like this. And I'd like to see more stuff like this. But I'd love to hear thoughts. What do you think people should be sentenced to if they are, charged and convicted of a kind of not as serious crime?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. So follow us, like us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and you can share your thoughts with us in the comments in any of those. In the meantime, we're out of here. Thank you so much, for listening and streaming us wherever you do. You were so great. You were so done. I loved it. You're like, see ya.
End it.
That's it. Let's go. I got shit to do.
I got hair to cut.
Exactly. All right. We'll see you back here next week. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.